Oh, okay.
You ready?
Let's do it. I love this intro music.
All right, welcome back to another episode of King of the Court. Today is May 16th, and I'm here with Jimmy. We had our last podcast, and Jimmy got lit up in the comments.
Absolutely destroyed.
People are not a fan of you, apparently.
They aren't. I mean, that's fine.
Just kidding. A lot of people did like your hot takes, if you want to call it that, your opinion, your the thing that I keep getting asked or told about is your depth of knowledge on all of these players and tournaments. It's pretty astounding.
I got a lot of time on my hands, clearly.
So you started, when did you start again? 2018?
2018, yeah.
So you've been around a while.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm a
He's
big...
been able to watch a lot of tournaments, follow podcasts, videos, tournaments, and
Yeah, it's fun. It's been fun watching the sport grow. There's a lot of information out there now, which makes it fun. And I think we talked about last week, it's nice that the pros are still very approachable at this level. Mm-hmm. You know, and they're still very, like we said, you can go on their Instagram page. You can, they don't have handlers yet, unless you're Tyson McGuffin. So yeah, it makes it fun.
Great. Well, before we get going, we got to announce our sponsor of this video, the Pickler Shop. They are once again sponsoring this video, and they are an e-commerce platform where they sell almost any pickleball item that you could imagine. Jimmy, you've used them before in the past. What do you like about them?
I love the Pickler Shop. The biggest thing I like is, one, they're local. They started local.
Now they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They've blown up. They have... The selection that they have is insane. I would say that that's second to none. But the best part about it is their customer service still makes them feel local.
Yeah.
It feels like, you can actually get somebody on the phone. You can get quick feedback. You can get exchanges, warrant, anything like that. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Pickler Shop. I actually buy all my gear from there, and I use Tyler's code.
Code ambassador for 10% off. And like Jimmy was talking about, the customer service, if you order, I can't remember the exact cutoff time, but if you order before, let's call it 12 in the morning, depending on where you live, but I got the paddle literally the next day.
Yeah,
it was
insane.
Pretty cool to
insane.
have that. Anyways, we really appreciate your support, Pickler. Check them out at thepicklershop.com. Use code ambassador for 10% off your order. All right, with that out of the way, we're going to go into a little recap. Last week we had the APP tournament. It was in Cincinnati. I think they kind of struggled a little bit with rain. That's no fun. A couple of rain delays here and there. Yeah. What were your thoughts about that tournament, Jimmy? Did stand out?
So a couple things. First of all, is there a better sponsor for a tournament than Vlasic Pickles for a pickleball tournament?
So did you check out their Instagram page though?
Yeah, yes. The Vlasic Classic. I think that's pretty clever, so I'll give them props for that.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. In terms of the tournament itself, there's a lot of storylines, Andre Deskew, what is that, 8 in a row, 9 in a row? He's won every single APP
this year
in men's and mixed, correct?
I know for men's for sure.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure he has for mixed too. And he's won it with mixed. I think he's done it with 5 different partners, which is wild. We'll go mixed real quick. So this one was Alex Trong he won with, who has Utah ties. We know Alex.
Here in Utah?
Yeah, we know Alex. Ethan Lee. Sorry that you lost your partner. And Alex is young. She's 7. I don't even know if she's 18 yet. She 18, 17, 18?
I bet she's 18.
18, up and comer. She's been trying to break into the pro circuit for a while. And the fact that essentially she gets her first gold medal is pretty impressive. I think that she's played a lot of pro events, but I don't think she's had the success that she had in this tournament.
So I have the results right here in front of me. They actually lost.
Yeah, they had to come through
the same team that they beat in the finals.
Rob Nunnery and Susanna Barr. Yeah, they had to come back and beat them. I think they beat them 15-9 in the
game to 15.
In the game to 15, yeah. So they had to come through the, double dip them in the championship, but it's impressive. There's a lot of talk between APP and PPA, right? I mean, I don't think that it's any secret that the PPA is the premier tour in pickleball. I think that there's the top players, but you know, you got to give Andre some credit for what he's done. I mean, he's definitely dominating. And it's an interesting strategy because last year I think we saw JW Johnson do this a little bit where he decided to go APP and essentially win everything, you know, and cash checks and make as much money as he could. And then this year he made the switch to PPA where Andre's only played one PPA event. He finished, I believe, 6th place with Jay DeVilliers. And then everything else has been APP. And he's just like, you know what? I can go on this tour. I can go destroy everybody, make a lot of money or make at least a fair amount of money. And yeah, for him, that works.
What are your thoughts on that? If players do that, do you have anything against that? Because I don't think Andre, which is fine, I don't think he really plays in that many PPAs. I think he's played in maybe 1 or 2. I know he played in Daytona, PPA Daytona, and he finished 6th with Jay DeVilliers. And they're actually playing this week in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, yeah. I think he's only played 1 all year. I think it's an interesting strategy. I think that it comes down to weighing, you know, how like, do you want the wins or do you want the GOAT status? Does that make sense? Because I think that, you know, you can win the APP all day long and you can get as many wins as you want. But at the end of the day, if anybody sees it, does it count, right?
Yes and no. So I actually have a little bit different philosophy with that or opinion. It's kind of interesting because there's so many people recently, and what Andre's done is actually pretty impressive. 8 wins with different partners, 8 gold. But as you were saying, if people actually look into it, it's not PPA tournaments. And so when people are calling him the GOAT, a lot of people actually have been calling him the best player out there, highly underrated.
He's going to be drafted super high in the next MLP now.
Yeah. I don't know. It just goes into just kind of different strategies. I mean, do you want to win and get that clout, get that fame, get that recognition, or do you want to push yourself and be the very best you can? I think we saw that with Jay. I think he did that actually 2 to 3 years ago, and then he's been playing with PPA exclusively for the last 2 years or so.
Yeah.
And obviously he hasn't had nearly as much success. Same with JW Johnson. He and Dylan actually kind of caught their stride recently, I would say.
I think so too.
But up until now, he's kind of hasn't done.
But I think last year at one point, I remember looking up, you know, APP posts all of their purses online, so you can go to their website and it actually tells you what first, second, third. And I think I added it up at one point last year, and J-Dub was around like the $120,000 to $160,000 range.
Just off of APP winnings?
Just off of APP winnings. But that was also because, I mean, we're talking 20 tournaments, you know, $4,000, $6,000, $8,000 a tournament. And so, yeah, I think it adds up. I think you're stacking checks at that point, but does it, you know, I mean, is it hollow? Are those wins hollow? Do they still mean the same thing? I don't know. Like, I guess that's the question for Andre to ask. But obviously, JW Johnson decided to come over to the PPA. He decided to make the switch.
Yep.
Maybe there was more money in it, maybe not. But I mean, let's calibrate this. Does an APP win? I mean, what does that equal in the PPA? Are we talking like 6th, 8th, 10th? You know, I don't know.
So that's my question for you. Where would you rate Andre in men's doubles right now?
I mean, I would say that he's in probably the 10 to 15 range. You know, I think that, you know, like I said, Jay DeVilliers is not a slouch of a partner. And I know it was only 1 tournament, and I guess Atlanta, we'll see how they do in Atlanta. But I mean, you know, they finished 6th. It's not bad. It's definitely respectable, especially in the PPA, but it's not first place with 5 different partners. It's not just dominating everybody and just rolling through people, which he's been doing in the APP.
Yeah.
You know, and someone's got to do it, right? Someone's got to win the APP events. It might as well be him. And, you know, that's the path he's choosing. I don't knock him for that at all. Like I said, he's probably having a good season, making a decent career. And, you know, but calling him anything more than, you know, GOAT status or adding, I mean, we can't overstate it. Like, same with Simone. Simone and Paris Todd are doing the same thing on the women's side of the APP. They're essentially winning 5 in a row.
Oh yeah, I mean their first 2, maybe 3 rounds are It's not
exactly. Listen, they're playing 4 or 5s from the local muni. Like, let's be real. And they're killing people. And I get it. And I know Paris Todd, you know, she had some issues. She wanted to come to the PPA. She had some pretty high demands, is what my understanding was. That's the rumor. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that the PPA probably made the right decision, and and not meeting those demands, because I heard that they were ridiculous, but
Bankrupt them.
yes, exactly. And yeah, nobody's tuning in to watch Paris Todd, play pickleball. How about that?
Some people will.
Some will, but yeah. So I mean, I saw something the other day, someone was talking about how Simone is still playing at such a high level at 43, 44. She's still dominating. But again, when Simone's played MLP, which is closer to the PPA, she's not having the same success and the same results.
I was going to bring that up.
And Andre as well, right?
Exactly. I mean, MLP is a whole different animal. He's with, before I think they switched up their teams a little bit, but he was with DJ. DJ Young on the Milwaukee Masters, and they haven't had
and now he's going to have Matt Wright.
Yeah.
And then he has Lucy and Callie, right?
Yeah. So that's an upgraded team, I think.
Yeah, that's a good team. And that's the thing. We'll see, obviously, in San Clemente how he does.
But his team, Andre Deescu, the Masters, I don't think they made it out of pool play either times, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's, it's just like you said, it's a different animal. It's completely different. I mean, they give credit where it's due, but at the end of the day, they're not playing on the highest level, in my opinion. Like, you're winning the minor league championship. Congratulations. It means something, but it doesn't mean what you think it means.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with players or anything like that playing APP or even any other tournament for that matter. Where it bothers me is when those people or other people say, oh, this person is so good because they've won 10 in a row, 5 in a row, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I can play in a local round robin and win every single time.
Yeah.
And I'm not posting about that or whatever.
Yeah, you should, though. You should, definitely. I think you should.
Kings Court in Utah.
Yeah. And we've talked about this. Like, it happens at every level. At least I've seen it. Even going back to amateurs, right? I won't call anybody out, but there's a group of people. You will. I might. But there's a group of people who, they all played 4-0 together, and they played 4-0 tournaments together. And then they play together every single day, and they have their little group. And then all of them decided to go play in a 4-5 tournament. And then they posted about it. Oh, our first 4-5. Well, it's the same 6, 8, 10 people that play every single day. You guys created your own 4-5 tournament.
Yeah.
Right? And then they went and played 5-0. And then they're like, oh, I got my first 5-0 gold. Well, again, it's the same 6, 8, 10, 12 people that you're playing with. Like, you're not, is it a true 5-0? I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess that's open to interpretation, but that's how I feel like about the APP in a way. Yeah. It's like, congratulations, you won. Yes, it is an APP tournament. Yes, it is technically a pro tournament. And there is that, title, and you get to put your stamp on it. And yeah, you can go post on Instagram and you can tell grandma that you won 8 straight golds in the APP tournament. Yeah. But again, grandma doesn't know who was in that tournament. Grandma doesn't realize that Ben Johns and Colin Johns and Tyler Leung and Matt Wright and Riley Newman were all at home on their couch watching. Or maybe not watching, because at one point when I tuned in to YouTube, there was 74 people watching. So that we get more on this podcast, just saying.
Yeah, I fully agree. That's my issue. Is I actually love other tournaments, and I always recommend other tournaments for new players. I say, go play this tournament. It's a great experience and everything like that. But when other people start hyping it up, oh, this person's undefeated this year, or whatever, he's 5-2, or whatever it is, that's where it starts to make me question.
So let me ask you this: when does Ken Herman? And I think Ken's a nice guy, and I think that he has a lot of respect amongst people. But when does Ken Herman decide, okay, I need to approach the PPA. We need to become the minor league feeder system to the PPA. Just like the Challenger League for the MLP, the APP needs to become that minor league feeder system. And maybe, you have those up and comers. You have the Alex Trongs play in the APP, right? You have, they have the next gen already. But maybe the APP in general becomes that next gen. Maybe it already has. Unfortunately, without, it's become that anyways. So you might as well embrace it at this point. Have it become the AAA, the minor league of professional pickleball. Maybe if you win an APP event, you don't have to play qualifier for a PPA. Maybe you get points, small portion of points. And then, you get exemptions onto the PPA tour and things like that. Like, I think that if they would embrace that, if they could come together, I know I've heard that Ken and Connor Pardo, if they're in the same room together, someone's probably fighting, but
who wins in that fight?
I would probably say Connor. Connor's gotten a little hefty in his old age, so I think that Connor can take him down. But I don't know. Those twins have really put a damper on Connor's working out. But anyways, I think that. But
I'm
I really
not playing any more PPAs. That's for sure.
no boy. I'll tell you a story about that someday too. I was told never to come back. But anyways, point being, I just think that if they would embrace that. And then you go after the young up and comers, right? You go after the 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds. You go after the Johnson brothers, Yates and Hunter Johnson, and you let them build their reputation on your tour, right? And people will come watch them. People like seeing the stars. Like the up and comers are a big deal to people. And I'm telling you, you see it in the MLP draft. You see established veterans skipped over in the MLP for these up and comers because everyone wants to hit a home run. And they're like, oh, this guy's consistent. We know what we're going to get out of him. Oh, but this kid could be amazing. So let's take a flyer. So the APP, I think that's the route they should go. I think they should build a minor league system. They should pair up with the PPA, and they should essentially become the feeder system for the PPA tour.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have recommended that. I was just talking to one of the APP players recently the other day, and they actually told me that APP is telling them that next year they're going to see a significant pay increase, which is good for them.
Yeah.
A little bit interesting because, as you said, I mean, I think a lot of people think they should just kind of be the feeder system, but
they don't want to.
I don't think they want to.
No.
And I think last year, the very first maybe 2 years that PPA and APP I think they were really going at it at each other. But I feel like this year it hasn't been as much. I think most people kind of know. They haven't put that term on them officially, but I think people know, hey, they're.
Well, yeah. I mean, at this point, right now in 2023, the PPA's won.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality of it. And the PPA striking a deal with MLP, they've won even more.
Yeah.
Right? Because last year, I mean, let's be real, the MLP, it wasn't great last year. Right? The first year was amazing, right? That first MLP event was one of the best pickleball events ever.
It was so unique and new.
Yes.
It was just totally new that nobody knew what was coming, the energy, the excitement.
Exactly. It was probably the most fun pickleball event I've ever watched. Yeah. It was unbelievable. Yeah. But then, we have all the fallout, right? We can't come to agreement on terms, PPA players. And then we have a whole year of where the MLP, I mean, who was watching it? Let's be real. Not many people were watching it. You would watch if it was not, but it was really, it lost its luster. And now that the top players are back in it, it's become a huge deal again.
Yeah. One thing I will say with the whole APP PPA stuff, I mean, I feel like it's pretty much water under the bridge, is kind of past this. However, as much as PPA probably doesn't want to hear this, I think the APP existing benefits players the most.
Yeah.
Just because
for sure,
if PPA lets up on their prize money, on their benefits, on how they treat us, everything like that, hey, we could go to the APP.
100%. Competition's great. Yes. Like the players want competition, and they want the APP to continue to increase their prize money because that's going to increase the PPAs. You got to keep up, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, competition's huge, and I think when you see a lack of competition, that's when people kind of start to rest a little bit,
sure.
and the PPA feels like they have you where they want you, and they don't need to. They don't need to keep growing and expanding and I mean, look at here's a good example, the UFC. Okay. So the UFC, I mean, they're the only show in town and they weren't paying fighters very much. I mean, you're having fighters literally $2,500 to show up and $2,500 if they win. That was it. And the UFC is making millions and millions. They end up selling for billions of dollars. And so, yeah, what happens is other corporations come in and Bellator and then all these other, fighting corporations they come in and they start throwing crazy money at fighters, like just absolutely insane money. And the UFC has to raise their game and they have to start paying people because it was diluting their product. And it's the same thing with the PPA, right? They have to keep up or people are going to jump back. And honestly, if a guy like Ben Johns or a guy like, Riley Newman, or you even lose one or two or three of those of the superstars in your sport, I think that it definitely dilutes your product.
Yep. No, definitely. So yeah, I think that's kind of an APP PPA recap. Nothing against APP. I actually recommend to new players, play as many tournaments as you can.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. Go out there and play tournaments. Get you that experience. Get you those wins, those losses.
Yeah.
That's going to help you the most in your pickleball career.
Yeah. Okay, before we move on, let me tell my PPA story real quick.
We might have to do. Where's the sensor?
It's not a PPA story, but hopefully Tyler's okay with this. But okay, so I played at PPA Red Rock 2 years ago, and I actually got paired up. It was 4-5. We were playing 4-5. Okay. I was playing with Tremaine Burton. Was I playing with Tremaine? I can't remember who I was playing with. Anyways, we actually ended up making the semis, and we played against Connor Pardo and his dad, Dirk. Okay.
I love Dirk. Dirk is awesome.
So we're playing really tight contested match. It's game 3. I want to say that it's 11-10. They're leading 11-10 in game 3. Okay. I hit a ball back line, hits the line. Literally, I'm just going to be 100% honest. Dirk looks at me, puts his hand flat, says, great shot, and puts his hand down. It's in. We're going to get the ball back. 10-11, about to serve. Connor, who was all the way at the back of the court, all the way against the fence,
best angle
by far had the best angle, 44 feet away, turns and says, no, I saw that out. Dirk looks at me and says, oh, well, if he saw it out. And I was like, well, you told me great shot. It was in. Mm-hmm. They walked to the net, said, sorry, it's out, and essentially take the match. It's over. Game over. It's done. I, of course, said, you're kidding, and a few other things. And I might have said, hey, this is your tour. Like, you have got to have integrity over anybody else. Mm-hmm. And Connor looked at me. Yeah. And Connor looked at me and he said, then don't come, don't play. And that was that. And yeah, so that was my PPA experience. I don't hold it against Connor.
How many PPAs have you played in since?
I haven't played any, but
you haven't?
I actually haven't played a single PPA since then.
I swear you've played in at least.
Oh, you know what? I played TOC, so I guess that counts because that's
Did you not play Red Rock either?
That PPA. That was the last Red Rock I played in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was the last Red Rock I played in. The next year it snowed and I wanted no part of it.
Yeah. And
then last year I was actually out of town for that, but I did play TOC last year, so that's technically a PPA event now. And Connor and I are fine. I've actually played rec games with Connor. Like, everything's fine, but that was my PPA experience with him. Okay. And I was told don't come. So yeah,
I think you just need to see a doctor, an eye doctor.
I mean, clearly, like,
the ball's out.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was out, other than the 52 people on the sidelines that literally told me it was in and came up to me afterwards and said that was the worst call they've ever seen. But it's okay. It's fine.
You know what I would tell you as a coach? Why are you aiming so close to the line?
Yeah, well, listen, I probably should have,
give yourself margin.
Yeah, in a close game like that, I should have. You're exactly right. So that's my own fault. I'll take ownership of that. But Dirk, it was a good shot. Thank you for telling me that. It was a very good shot.
I guarantee you, he does not even remember that match.
100%, he doesn't. I don't think he remembered it 2 seconds after. I don't think Connor remembers it, but I do, and I've been stewing over it for 2 years. So yeah,
you feel good now.
I want a rematch.
Yeah. A rematch. They are doing the owners MLP Palooza or whatever, and I think Connor's been talking a big game. And he's telling teams that they better hope that him and his dad don't get on the same team, otherwise.
So wait, I have another funny. So speaking of TOC, so I actually was last year in TOC, I look at the bracket comes out, and I'm supposed to play Connor first round. Mm-hmm. And so it's supposed to be, I was supposed to play him first round, and that was my chance. I was like, here's my redemption. Got this guy. And he pulls out and sends Braxton to play against us and said,
the better of the Pardo boys.
He said he was too busy to play. And so I just want you to know, Braxton, I think it was 11-0, 11-1. For me, obviously. That was because of Connor. Okay, so
Who was
I
his
actually...
partner?
Ogden? Yes, it was Ogden. Connor Ogden.
Ogden and
yep.
Braxton.
Yeah. And we put it on him. We beat him down.
Dude,
We literally
I think
took
I might
their
have to
souls that game.
Bleep out this last 10 minutes
Nope.
of this.
Nope. This is very important. This is part of PPA history. Honestly, when there's a PPA Hall of Fame, I think that this story needs to be
I've
in
been
it.
saying this for a long time. Somebody needs to make a PPA documentary. Oh,
They
man,
should.
the stories and
Absolutely.
what goes on is just
Absolutely.
really good stuff.
All right. Anyways, Tyler, if you get fined, I'll pay it. Moving on.
All right, what else is new? Oh,
Let's-
do you want to talk about Atlanta partnerships?
Yeah, let's talk about Atlanta. There's some new partnerships for Atlanta. I think one that I think will be interesting is I believe Lauren Stratman and Megan Dazan are playing together.
Okay. I feel like they've played in the past.
I think
Maybe
they
last
have,
year.
and I think they're friends. I think
Yeah.
that's an interesting partnership, though. The other one was
So Leia Jansen's with Jesse Irvin.
yeah. So Leia and Jesse, they're first together since the breakup with Elise.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see Elise. Is Elise not playing in this one?
No, so I should have got a little bit more information. I don't know if she was planning on not going to this or not.
Okay.
I'll say that. I think she
Okay.
actually was planning on it.
And then
she
lost
found
her-
out.
lost her partner.
Yeah, found out that she was not playing. I could be wrong, but that's the word.
You know who is playing in this one? Paris Todd.
Who is she with? Oh, she's with Catherine, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Paris Todd and Catherine Parento are playing in this one. So that will be nobody will eye roll more than those two, other than Tyler. But that'll be fun. That'll be interesting. I think that because again, Paris has been playing on the APP. Her and Simone have been slaying the women's side. Essentially every single
It would
tournament.
have been fun to see Paris play with Simone, though.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think
Because,
so
I mean,
too.
all these partners, like Jack Sock, going back to Jack Sock, I mean, he's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah.
But when you play with the top three in each category, I think that's a little bit of a buffer. If you rather play with somebody who's at your true skill level, then that's going to show a little bit different colors. But if you play with Ben Johns, I mean, it's pretty easy to have success with him.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that it would be interesting to have Paris and Simone come over and defend all those gold medals against the PPA women.
Exactly.
Playing with Catherine, now she's playing with the number 2, female in the world, and so you expect them to do well, right? You would expect the two of them to have a good showing, and I don't know, does it justify Paris Todd? Does it give relevance to her APP gold medals if she does well in the PPA with Catherine? I don't know. I think if her and Simone came over, it would definitely give more. And then Andre is playing with Jay. Yep. So that'll be.
They did well in Daytona. Like, I think they got to the quarters probably.
Yeah. So that'll be another interesting
Yeah.
matchup with the two of them.
And then mixed doubles, Paris is with Riley, who I think they got to the quarters, but I think they had a bye last time, and I think a lot of people said it wasn't a good showing from them. So it'll be interesting to see how they rebound or if they change anything up. Yeah,
I think that's another one that I think will. I think everyone's excited to see it, right? I mean, I think that Paris Todd has the potential to be, top 5 female in the world. It's just we don't.
In singles or doubles?
Well, in singles, I think she is already.
You would say even now?
Well, I mean, again, we don't know, right? That's the problem, is because she's not testing herself.
I wouldn't say now. I think she has the potential to be. But I would say at this current point right now, I would say no. Yeah,
that's fair. But she's not testing herself, so we have no idea. I mean, Megan Fudge has won every single silver medal on the APP tour this year. No offense, but Megan Fudge is 15 to 18 ranked women on the PPA.
Yeah.
Like, literally she's 2 in a barbecue. She's 0-2 in most PPA events. Depending on her partner, Megan Fudge is going 0-2. I'll just call it what it is. And
Jimmy.
And she's winning silver on every APP.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Megan Fudge is not beating Etta. She's not beating Megan. She's not beating Elise. She's not beating Leia. She's not beating Callie. She's not beating Lucy. She's not. I mean, Anna Bright, Catherine, Annalie. Like, she's just not beating any of those people. So
I think there's a lot of, and I think Atlanta Open is a major or one of their biggest tournaments. And so there was actually a couple of the PPA players that were planning on taking this one off, but then they found out that it's a major, and so they want to play there for the points.
Yeah, and I think over.
Yeah.
The one thing also that I wanted to mention also is Thomas Wilson's supposed to be back. So
Yeah. I actually thought, well, he did have an injury, but then
Yeah.
also I think they've been, I think they announced that I think she's pregnant or they're adopting recently. And so that's why he didn't play in his last tournament.
Okay, that makes sense. So he's healthy though.
I think so.
Yeah, that's
Who
awesome.
is he with?
He's with Vivian David
In mixed, yes.
in mixed always, right?
Doubles.
And then in men's, he's not with his cousin because you stole him.
He's with Zane.
Okay. So
Zane.
Thomas and Zane will be interesting.
Which I think their last tournament they played in was the Masters, and they got to the quarterfinals. They lost to Matt and Riley in game 3. I remember that.
That's right.
That team can be very hot and cold. When their drives are on, both of those players have some of the toughest drives to deal with. And so if you can get those drives going, then a lot
the other brand new, never before seen mixed partnership for Atlanta is you and Lacey Schneeman.
Lacey Schneeman, you were not a fan of her last podcast.
No, I didn't say I wasn't a fan of her. I just said that if you're going to play with Lacey, you might as well play with Elise. But I want Lacey to prove me wrong because obviously I would like you to play well.
Yeah, she got to the finals with Tyson in Newport.
Yeah, she did.
So
She
she's no
played.
slouch.
She played really well, and I don't think we can ever understate exactly how well she played singles against Megan Dazan in the
first
In the
MLP,
first
yeah.
MLP, I want to say it was 8-0.
Yeah, I mean, she played well, but also Megan, I think, kind of
Yeah,
helped
and
her
Megan
look
admitted
good.
that. Megan basically said she hadn't been playing any singles. She literally stood at the baseline, tried to hit passing shots. Lacey took the kitchen line and just put ball after ball after ball away. But she looked good, and
She is one of the only female players that I'm aware of that really stands at the line and takes balls out of the air. So many female players, they like to take that step off the line, let that ball bounce, and then rip balls. But Lacey, she's right on the line, and she's ripping balls. She's reaching out there, she's stretching, and she's speeding up balls, which is what I like to see. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Megan Fudge is playing in this one, so
She's going to win it all.
this is her chance.
I bet she proves you
Bobby
wrong.
Oshiro, Brendan Long is back. So we'll see how he does after his showing at Red Rock.
He got silver this last weekend.
Yeah.
Him and Sincola. I didn't see the finals. Was it close?
I don't
it was
remember
a
the
2.
score. I think it was 2. I think it was like 5-7 or something. It wasn't. Yeah. And then Rob Nunnery,
Is he in it?
he's in it.
With who?
So he's making his return. I think he's playing mixed with Susanna Barr again, which they ended up getting silver. And
No, I think Spencer Smith is with Susanna.
Oh,
Barr.
Spencer and Susanna playing together?
I think so.
With Spencer,
Yeah, Spencer Smith and Susanna Barr.
another local Utah product, Spencer,
So,
who, by the way, just got his own signature paddle. It's probably already delaminated, but just kidding. It looks good. Go
Rob
check
is
it out.
with Hurricane Tyra,
Oh, okay. So Hurricane upgraded from her previous tournament,
which was me.
which was Tyler, but just kidding. Okay. So yeah. So Rob, dealt with some personal issues, dealt with some mental health, sickness, some all sorts of things over the last 18 months, and he's back. I thought Rob, 24 months ago was a top 10 male player, and I think that he had a lot of.
He's tricky because he's also one of those players that's fairly streaky. When he likes to hold his shot, and when he holds it and he's successful, it's almost a straight winner almost every single time.
Yeah.
So he can be really tricky.
The Robs, Nunnery and Cassidy had some good runs back in the day. Remember when they made that run to the finals? Was that 2 years ago? And everybody was shocked.
Nunnery and
Cassidy? Do you remember that?
What tournament?
I'm trying to remember. It was like 2 years ago. They made a run.
You're talking fake news right now.
No, I'm serious. They made a run, and
Not
they
to the
got
finals.
absolutely blasted
Not
in the finals.
finals.
Yes, I'm almost
PPA?
positive. I was almost positive. I'm going to look it up. Hang on. Yes.
We're going to call Jimmy out right now. He thinks he knows everything.
Let's see if I'm right about this.
I could maybe see it quarters or semis, but I don't think of finals.
Let's see.
What are you searching?
I don't know.
Chat GBT?
Yeah.
They won't know.
Let's see. Yes, I remember they made it, and it was a big deal, and they got absolutely.
You're thinking of Shelton and Cassidy.
Did they make the finals?
No, they got like quarters or something.
No, it was. I'm telling you, they got like.
They did not get to the finals.
And they got blasted. I don't remember.
There's no finals. Somebody in the comments, let us know.
If you know,
Call Jimmy out.
call me out. Let me know. Google it. Clearly, I don't know how to Google. Yeah. Shelton's never made a final. Sorry, Shelton. But
All right, so men's doubles, what are your predictions?
my predictions, I think the Johns brothers bounce back.
From the Newport, was that their last tournament?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ben's taking some time off. Ben, I don't know. I think that maybe that mentally broke Ben. But he also hates playing indoors. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
People don't realize this about Ben Johns, but he came to Utah and it was raining super hard and he played TOC and they ended up moving it indoors.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of when he vowed to not really play
and he
indoors.
lost to Spencer Smith.
Well, and JW.
And
I think
JW.
that was the first time he lost to JW.
Lost to both of them.
That's when his streak of 100 whatever it was got broken.
And he has not played indoors since. Has he?
I mean, Vegas, bubbly.
But Vegas,
it's kind of an exhibition thing.
Yeah, but like Minneapolis, he won't go to Minnesota and play. He didn't go to North Carolina. He doesn't love the indoor. And he definitely won't play singles indoor.
I love indoors, but the lighting, the exposure has to be spot on.
Yeah.
Because it's so much more different. It's darker inside indoors. The lighting really affects it. The ball kind of blends in with the colors a lot of the times.
Yeah.
People in the stands, you lose the ball. And so lighting has to be spot on. If lighting is spot on, then...
Is the flooring the same? Most of the time?
It depends. I mean, some of the times, yes. The places that we've played at, it has been a little bit different. The ball hasn't bounced nearly as well.
Because I remember, I think it was Minnesota a couple years ago, there was a lot of complaints about how the ball wasn't coming up.
Yeah. So that situation in Minnesota, and it was the same this last year, is they have like a cushioned tennis court, so it's good for the tennis ball. It's easier on your legs, everything like that.
It's a lot of old people playing tennis there.
Exactly. It just doesn't bounce the same for a pickleball.
That makes sense. But maybe, I mean, with the age of some pickleball players, they may need that.
Yeah.
Not the pros.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors to consider indoors, but I think if you can nail the indoors, the lighting, the colors, the height, the temperature, everything like that, then I would choose to play indoors any day over outdoors.
You would?
Yeah.
Like at the Pickler?
Exactly. Go check out your nearest Pickler. We are coming to a town near you.
The Pickler is blowing up.
Yes.
Okay, so I think Johns brothers...
Johns brothers take it?
Well, I think they bounce back. I think definitely have a good showing. I actually, and it's not just because you're sitting here, but I do think you and AJ have the potential to make a deep run.
I think we always have the potential.
You do.
A lot of teams have the potential.
I agree, but AJ, I just feel like I've watched you and AJ in the past, and you haven't played together in about a year or so, huh?
Wow. I just got sent the email for the draws.
Oh, good. That's perfect.
Atlanta, literally as we are talking.
Good. Let's look at these draws and let's
see.
Are you going to be mad?
You know, I used to really care about the draws, but nowadays it's like if you're good, you're going to play every single team.
That's true, but you guys are paid. Let me just be clear. You're paid based off of how deep you go, right? Each round.
Yes.
And so, a good draw can at least, if you don't have to face Riley, right, and Matt until the semis.
Like our draw.
Let's hear it. What do you like about it, Tyler? Who are you going to roll through?
So
what seed are you?
We came in as a third seed.
Perfect. That's what you'd expect, I would say.
Once again, the PPA does their seeding differently. Do you even know how it's done?
Yeah, well, I've heard that it's combined points, but also the 3 and the 4 can be swapped at any point.
So 1 and 2 are always going to be on opposite sides.
Yes.
Those are the true 1 and 2.
Yes.
But 3 and 4... So if you come in as the 4 seed, you technically could be the 3 seed.
Yeah.
But you just randomly drew the 4 seed.
Yes.
And same goes for 5 and 6.
Yes.
You could come in as the 6 seed, but you technically are the 5th seed.
Yeah, that
and
makes
a lot
sense.
of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
And it goes on from like
all the way down, right?
Yeah, like 3 through 20.
Yeah. So you guys are the 3, but really you could have been the 4.
Exactly.
But I assume that Riley and Matt are the 2.
Yes. So Ben and
you and AJ will be on the same side of the bracket as Riley and Matt, but you won't face them unless you get to the semis,
exactly.
which is perfect. That's what you want. And then who's the 4?
J-Dub and Dylan.
So J-Dub and Dylan are the 4, which, like you said, they could be swapped. They could be the 3. So that means that the Johns brothers have got to go through J-Dub and Dylan.
Yeah, that's in the
Semis too, right?
semis. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that. So who do you have in the first round? Is it qualifier?
No, Mitchell Vegas and Alvaro Terran. I know his name through singles. He's actually a
Good singles player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's going to be a good
So,
first round matchup for you. And then if you win that, who will you?
the winner of
that's
Tardio
usually-
and Connor Garnett.
Okay.
So, not bad.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I mean everything's tough, right? Every matchup is tough. That's what's crazy about the PPA Tour is like before, you could cruise to the quarters, you could cruise to the semis at least, right? And now everything's tough, and you see it. I mean, you see upsets. There will be a double-digit seed that will upset somebody and make a deep run. It happens every single time.
All right, looking at mixed doubles.
Okay, let's look at
now.
mixed. I'm gonna guess. Let me guess. Let's see how good I am. I'm gonna say you and Lacey are. This is tough because you and Tyra were pretty low seed, just because neither one of you, have played together before. Tyra hasn't played a lot of PPA, so I'm gonna say you and Lacey are the. Part of me wants to go as high as 7. I'm gonna say 11.
Nailed it.
11?
Yeah.
I'm good. I am good at this.
Where is this?
Thank you. It's not bad.
impressive.
So who do you have first round?
So we have a bye. We'll
Okay.
have the winner of Rafa and Lina.
Okay, that's a good matchup. They're a good team.
It might be a typo, but it looks like the seeds that they're playing are 99.
Okay, well, good
And
luck.
then if we win,
Yeah.
we'll play the winner of Riley Newman and Paris Todd.
Perfect.
So that
Great.
would be the round of 16.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Ben Johns, Annalie, your number 1 seed. No
Yeah.
surprise there. Number 2, Tyson and Catherine.
Interesting.
A little bit surprising. They've had good success.
Yeah.
They lost last tournament in North Carolina in the
Yeah.
semis.
Semis. Yeah.
But it was a really close one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cool.
Yeah.
Any other ones, women's pro you want to look at?
Yeah, let's look at women's pro real quick because there's a lot of intriguing matchups there. I think Paris and Catherine are probably. Well, gosh, the problem is with Paris, that might push Catherine down to like the 3 or the 4.
So Catherine and Paris are number 4.
4, yeah. And then I'm going to assume that is Annalie with Anna, or who's?
Annalie is with Anna Bright, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's the 1, clear cut number 1. And then our 2 is, wait, let me see how good I am at this. Our 2 is
Oh, you better get this one.
Callie and Lucy.
Yeah.
And then the 3, is it Leia and Jesse? Are they the 3?
Yeah.
Okay, gosh, I'm good. Let me just make these brackets and see this tournament. I'm going to say that Anna and Annalie and Callie and Lucy in the finals. And I think that we are going to see an upset. And I think that Lucy and Callie are going to pull it out in 5.
You think? All right, you heard it here first.
That's my prediction. In men's, I'm going to say it's going to be Ben and Colin. Actually, nope. I'm going to change that. I'm going to say JW and Dylan versus. I'm going to say Tyler and AJ. I'm going to say Tyler and AJ. JW, Dylan, Tyler and AJ, Championship Sunday. In men's singles, we have got 87 players in men's singles. They might be playing until Sunday and not have a champion yet.
They've got to start capping the qualifiers now.
Yeah. My only prediction for men's singles is that you will see at least 15 players withdraw. That's my only prediction.
Yeah, from the back draw.
From the back draw, yes, exactly. And I mean, is Ben playing singles? Are all the big time guys playing men's singles? Like you're not playing singles this week, right?
I am.
Oh, Tyler Lung makes his return to singles.
Right there.
Ooh, this is a big deal.
So a lot of people have asked why I haven't been playing singles.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
One of the main reason is I've been waiting on this thing to get approved, and it's finally passed USA Pickleball testing. It's my new V730 Max. It's not available for sale quite yet. However, it will be very shortly.
Tyler, can I get one of those?
It's got a lot more power than my previous paddle, which I need for singles.
Can I get a pre-order on that?
Yeah, I'll give you a code to use.
Okay. Look at that thing.
Where was...
It's got by the way, if you can't see it, it's got the Tyler Loong logo. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Tyler's logo. I'm sure you have, but it's a dragon. Loong means dragon, right?
It does.
And his logo is a dragon. I'll be honest, it's pretty sick to have that. Like that logo is impressive. Did you come up with that, or who came up with that?
No, one of my friends did that. I commissioned to come up with it.
Because
Yeah.
honestly, your logo is for like a personal branding. Like it's pretty insane.
Yeah, a lot of people go with something pickleball related, and
Yeah.
I just felt like it was a little bit cheesy.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to stay away from that a little bit, and so
Yeah, I love it. I think it looks awesome. And the fact that, like, I mean, do you ever, like, let me ask you this, okay? You played tennis in high school, played in college. Like, do you ever like pinch yourself? Like, I'm a professional athlete. Like I have a signature paddle. You have a signature pair of shoes.
yeah.
Like your name, your likeness, your image is on, like, I mean, a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Like that's like, I just watched the movie Air, by the way, and
It's on Amazon Prime.
it's on Amazon Prime. Yeah, check it out. By the way, really good movie.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's on a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever imagine that this is where pickleball would take you 10 years ago when you started?
I did not. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you just have to take a step back and look at what you've accomplished, where the sport's come, the future potential that it has, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
to
that's
see.
awesome. You're still young. You still got a lot of years left.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, singles is a doozy.
Who do you have first round? Let's talk about it.
So I actually have Alex Newman.
Okay, so Alex Newman, here's a story. Alex Newman,
He's got a story on everybody.
he's a Park City. He used to live in Park City.
Well, he was visiting.
He was visiting.
Yeah.
I actually played with Alex Newman quite a few times. He was like a 4-0, I'll be honest. He was like 4-0-ish when he would play. He would actually take lessons from Kristen Walsh now.
Really?
Yes, and they would play a
I
lot.
didn't know he took lessons.
Yeah, so she's a local high-level player here, former pro racquetball player. And they would take lessons. They would play together all the time. And he was like 4-0-ish. And then he moved to Florida, I believe. Is it Florida?
New York.
New York.
I mean,
okay.
his home base is New York. He may
Okay.
have spent time in Florida.
Okay. And that dude, honestly, I mean, he's a force at singles.
Singles, he is very competent. He is very good at
Yes,
singles.
he has just figured it out, and he's gotten good in a hurry at singles.
I'm not going to make any excuses, but he is one of those players that was using the carbon paddle. And this is kind of when carbon was just making a splash. All of these tennis players was using it. And they were just passing left and right. And then it kind of came out that a lot of them were delaminated. And so he's been using the carbon since. He's had a lot of success in singles. Doubles, it's a different game, obviously, but I don't think he's had as much success there.
I don't think he's had any success. I mean, no offense, he hasn't. He's a singles guy. It's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he's when he's on, he's also been off sometimes and just kind of sprays balls.
Yeah,
But
it
when
just
he's
depends.
on, he passes left and
The
right.
guy hits absolute nukes when
Yeah.
he's on, let's be honest.
And his forehand.
Yes.
Primarily. His backhand.
Yeah. So what are you
his
saying? I mean, we playing backhand?
Yes, I mean that's the
Return
plan
to his
for probably
backhand.
90% of all players, you play the backhand.
Return to the backhand, get to the net.
The issue is sometimes some people run around their backhand so well that you actually have to start with their forehand to open up the backhand side.
That makes sense.
So it depends. We'll see how he's playing. If he's on, it's going to be tough. If he's not, then
Have you been
hopefully-
practicing? Like, do you play a lot of singles even in practice?
So I haven't been playing hardly any because I've been waiting for that paddle to come out.
Okay.
And I actually just got this paddle. This is the approved version. I got it literally yesterday.
Okay.
And so,
You haven't even hit with it yet, much?
No.
Okay. Are you going to before the tournament?
Yeah, I'm playing later today.
You are?
Yeah.
With Spencer?
Spencer, yeah.
Okay. Singles?
Yeah, just little
Smash
practice.
him. Smash Spencer. Oh, but he's going to have his new paddle.
Exactly.
Oh, this is cute. Both of you with your signature
Battle of
paddles.
the new paddles.
Yeah.
The winner gets the other one's paddle.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's like Fast and the Furious. The winner gets the deed to their car.
Exactly.
You guys have to trade paddles.
Anyways, yeah, so that should be fun. Yeah, I mean, singles and men's is just insane.
Yeah, it's
Every
wild.
single matchup, it could go one way or the
Yeah,
other.
and there's, like you said, there's 80 something players.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is because the tennis players, so many tennis players adapt to singles so quickly and so much easier that, you can get a million guys in there that actually all can have success. And anybody can get hot in singles. But can you imagine, like imagine losing first round? I'm not saying you will.
Yeah.
and then having to go through that back draw. Like there's no benefit to it.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
Well, even the main draw, I mean, you're playing every single match except the final. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 matches of intense grinding, running back and forth.
Yeah, singles. Yeah. And then you have the finals on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then in between there, you've got to go play doubles and mix. So you see why guys withdraw. Like you see why people pull out, especially when there's not many points involved and there's not a whole lot to it. Like, you see why all of these guys will pull out and not stick with it. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Like I would pull out first point with an injury. Let's be honest. My hammy, I'm out.
Just sign up for pro. Say that. You played in a pro.
Just to say I played pro and I can post it on the gram. Just let everybody know. First pro tournament, had to pull out early with injury. Sucks, but I'll be back. And then I can call myself a pro. That's all it takes, right?
Exactly. Hot take for singles. Once you get to the level of pro, I think the best thing that you can do is work on your fitness, your cardio, your agility back and forth. I mean, that's all it is. It's going back and forth. I mean, assuming you have the shots to make it. Any of the top 20 players, I think if they work on their cardio, they'll see significant improvements in their singles game.
Is there a player that you feel like would be better if they had better cardio?
Ben is interesting because, I mean, he's the number one undisputed right now, but he doesn't move much. Yeah. He moves very slowly, and he talks about it. He doesn't like to move much.
And I feel like Ben, it's no waste in movement.
Yeah.
Everything is very calculated. Yeah. That makes sense.
I don't know. Maybe JW, he's quick, but I don't know.
But you don't see, like, okay, so watching you play singles, watching Fed play singles, watching Julian Arnold, you guys are all over the court. You guys are literally all over the court, right? Where some other players, I almost want to say, like, for you, for example, playing with you, it's tough to end a point against you. Mm-hmm. A point is never over. Like, you will run it down, you'll hit the tweener, you'll lob to get yourself back in it. All of these things where a lot of these guys, it's like they're just going to conserve and move on to the next shot where you can get there. And so you're never out of a point. Yeah. Right? Rafa Hewitt, he's not going to move very much. AJ Kohler, he's not going to move very much. Let's be honest. They're going to use their length. They're going to use their, Yeah. So, yeah.
Singles is interesting. I mean, you can have matches that literally last 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. Or you can have some that last 50 to 50 minutes to an hour.
Wild, right? Like, that's insane.
I've had a couple that I can remember that have gone over an hour.
That's crazy. Yeah. Will you do me a favor this weekend?
No.
Will you ask Rafa why he wears sunglasses on his hat even when he's indoors?
Do you not know where he's from? He grew up in Idaho, I think. He grew up on a farm.
He's an Idaho boy?
Farmer lifestyle.
But what the sunglass on the hat indoor is just, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Round him up, baby.
Like, you're inside. Like,
I got to get a sound widget thing and do round him up or
we need something because that one's an odd one. Speaking of Idaho, I'm going to give a shout out to the queens of pickleball here in Utah, who actually have a huge female group of pickleball players. Yolanda, they are big fans of the podcast. They actually have watch parties. Like,
should we have them on one
we should. Times? And they have watch. I'm going to use watch party loosely because they all watch it together, and then they have like a text thread. Uh-huh. And I don't know if it's negative or positive, but
for sure negative.
100% negative. Yeah. But they're big fans of the pod, so shout out to them.
Thank you for listening. Yeah, we appreciate it.
We love this. Yes. But Yo has a very thick New Zealander accent, but she actually was born in Idaho, so don't let her fool you. Her and Rafa Hewitt probably neighboring farms.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Oh, real quick, I wanted to talk about, so there's been a lot of chatter recently about white paddles.
Yes, let's talk about that.
What are your thoughts on that?
So,
as a spectator, do you notice anything with them?
Okay, so last night was the first time that I've ever played with somebody that had a white paddle. First of all, white paddles, I'll just be honest. I'm a white shoe guy. I love all white everything. Like, I think it looks so clean. I think it looks sick. Just in terms of aesthetics, white paddles look amazing to me. Mm-hmm. But last night, when we played with a green Dura, fluorescent green, it was fine. I didn't notice any difference. Not a big deal. We cracked that ball because my overhead power. When we switched to a yellow ball,
Couldn't see anything.
it was tough.
Yeah.
It was really tough to pick up the ball.
And this is Jimmy playing at the 3-0 level.
Yes, this is the 2-5 level. And I mean, honestly, 70-year-old ladies, and I couldn't pick up the ball off their paddle.
Yeah.
Truthfully, though, it was harder to pick up the ball. And so I see why I can 100% see why the white paddles are being banned. Which is too bad because they do look good. Like they look sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they do need to be banned, and I think they will moving forward. MLP has already sent out surveys. PPA has asked a lot of the players on their feedback.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just a matter of time. One of my friends was telling me that top baseball players, like their eyesight is just like in the top 5 or 10% of all people. Mm-hmm. And so eyesight is so huge in pickleball. Yeah. You're tracking the ball, you're reacting to the ball, and if your eyesight is hindered for even 1/10 of a second or even less, that's going to obstruct your reaction time, everything like that. And so I think something needs to be done because you lose that ball, that yellow on the white, you lose it completely. Yeah. And if somebody's holding it on that paddle for just a second longer and they're misdirecting it or something like that, it totally affects how you receive the ball.
Well, and how many times have you played somewhere, a home court or somebody's barn or whatever, and the sight lines are just bad, right? Like sometimes sight lines are bad. I mean, there's local parks, here in Utah where literally one side has windscreens and I mean, you can pick up the ball and then the other side is a playground and you cannot pick up a ball at all just from those sight lines. So can you imagine, balls coming off white paddles and
especially at the level, like when people are speeding these balls up from down low or something like that.
Exactly.
It's just a huge advantage.
The speed that it's coming out, the power, I agree. And like you said, the misdirection.
We got to get a soundbite of Elise saying, if you use a white paddle, you are not a good person.
Yes. Elise Jones thinks that if you use a delaminated paddle, you are not a good person.
I think she said that if you use one knowing
it's delaminated. In her defense, yes. Knowing it's delaminated, you're not a good person. You cannot.
If you use a white paddle knowing that it's going to obstruct the view.
Yes, you're not a good person. That's fair. Okay, that's fine, Elise. Yeah, so I agree with that for sure. I think that was the first time I had experienced that. Mm-hmm. And it sucks because honestly, like I said, you look good, you feel good, you play good. And those white paddles look good.
I'll say this. I don't think manufacturers up till now, they've known that it's caused such a ruckus. But I think moving forward, a lot of the manufacturers are starting to realize, hey, white paddles, at least if it's predominantly white. I mean, maybe it has shades or lines or something like that. But if it's like all white.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a big
last tournament, North Carolina, Jesse was complaining about the white lettering on the billboards, on the signs in the back, which it really pops. Anything white in the background, like close to the court, it affects our eyesight and it really makes a difference.
So what's funny is the last tournament, I had a buddy text me during the tournament when Annalie and Jack were playing. Mm-hmm. And when they switched sides and the video board, and I don't know if this is true, I need to go back and watch this, but when they switched sides and the video board was in front of them, they said that they had shut the video board off and they weren't showing anything. And then when they switched and it was at their back, the video board was flashing all sorts of stuff.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's true or not, but he was adamant that that's what happened. And he felt like that maybe they really want, Jack and Annalie to pick up that W. I don't know if that's true.
Shocking.
I think that's a great conspiracy theory. Yeah. I'll text Chris Carson and I'll ask him if he did that on purpose. But I thought that was interesting. But either way, those video boards, like you said, they can definitely cause a problem. And so you throw that in, you throw a white paddle in, right? You throw that dude in the stands with the, wearing the fluorescent green shirt. Yeah. What do you think about that when they used to wear colors that were the...
What were you saying? What do I think
What do you think about, like, obviously I believe it's been banned now, but when people would wear colors that are the same shirts, they're the same color as the ball or close to it.
It's funny because I actually feel like historically speaking, maybe 2+ years ago, I really didn't see that many people do it. But now, ever since they kind of made a rule about it, I feel like I've seen a lot more people doing it. And so it's almost as if they brought more attention to the matter and it actually made it worse.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, if they feel like they need to do that, most of the people, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
They're very aware of it, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Why would you wear a bright neon or a shirt that's got neon patterns or just crazy patterns that you lose the ball?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to wear it out off the court or something, but if you're doing it
Yeah.
knowing that it's going to mess up your opponent, I don't think that's a good look.
Yeah. What about orange? What about guys that wear all orange?
Is there somebody in Utah you're referring to?
I'm just saying, if you wear all orange, does that say more about you or them? I don't know, but
Well, I mean, as long as it's not the color of the ball, it's
that's
fine.
true. But there are orange balls out there.
There are orange balls out there.
Yes,
yeah.
that's true.
So-
That makes sense. Should we go to some questions?
Yeah,
Did you get
so
some
let's-
questions?
Yeah, so as per usual, I ask questions leading up to the
them.
podcast.
I love our questions.
There was some guy, I will not say his name, which
He went off.
he was going off.
He spammed the question box. Let's just be real.
And a lot of them get even too personal for us to answer.
Yes,
so,
but I love a good listen. That means he's listening to the podcast, and let's be interactive, right?
all right, so we'll just read one of these. He said, "You are a top left-handed player. Please talk more about left-handed strategy or play." I think, as Ben alluded to or said in his last podcast, he thinks the future of teams are going to be lefty-righty combo. I don't necessarily know if I believe that 100%. I think you'll see a lot more.
I mean, you'd have to get 25 top
Exactly.
level lefties for it to
Exactly.
happen.
I get what he was saying.
Yes.
Being a lefty, if you have a lefty or if you have that combo, lefty-righty combo, it's a huge advantage.
Who are the other lefties?
Pablo Fed, who
Pablo?
started to do
Yeah.
well recently.
Yes.
Rafa and Christian, Alshon, they've been playing together.
Yeah, but other than that, that's.
Whoever Rob Cassidy plays with.
Do you remember when you and Rob Cassidy had to play together? Lefty, lefty. He subbed.
in
Was that MLP?
I don't know how you remember that.
That was absolute disaster. Let's just call it what it is. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
It was two lefties on the court that had never played together,
Yeah.
and that was a disaster.
Yes. Anyways, quick answer. Please talk more about left-handed play. I don't know how to answer this. Just own it. Practice it. You have a huge advantage by being lefty, righty, having that combo, having those forehands in the middle. Be dominant with that. Learn to be aggressive with that forehand in the middle. If you start being aggressive with those forehands in the middle, that's going to force your opponents to hit to the corners of the court. And guess what happens when they hit to the corners of the court?
Ernie time.
Ernie time. If you and your partner both can Ernie, then you're putting so much pressure on your opponents because they can't hit to the middle because of your forehands. They can't hit to either sides because of the Ernies. So where do they go? They don't have many options.
They have nowhere to go. They don't. Yep, exactly. Also, if you want to learn how to Ernie, Tyler actually has a great video.
Exactly. It's on sale for, I think, $7.99.
$7.99. Go check it out. Honestly, I mean this sincerely. So speaking of the queens of pickleball, Joy, who I'm going to shout out on here, learned to Ernie watching Tyler's video.
We
And
won't talk about how good of an Ernie it is.
yeah,
but
we
she
won't talk
learned
about
how-
that, but
how
she
to Ernie.
credits her ability to Ernie from Tyler's video.
There we go.
She said Justin Manning, who created the video, made her buy it, but it was the best $7 she's ever spent.
All right, we're going to kind of rapid fire these ones off. How long before the PPA adopts rally scoring MLP format? I personally don't think they will. I think they're considering it, but the common feedback is that I don't think they will, at least for the next 1 to 2 years minimum.
I think the pros like it
For MLP.
for MLP, but they don't like it for that because it is the great equalizer.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that there's going to be way too many upsets for people to be. Yeah.
What are the best tournament candies?
Oh gosh, is there a bad candy for a tournament?
I think I'm known.
Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids are good. I'll put sour spaghetti. I'll put a
Wait,
link.
sour spaghetti? What is
yeah.
sour spaghetti?
Dude, it's Haribo.
They have sour spaghetti?
Yes.
What?
I'll get you some.
Okay, yeah, like.
Do you prefer to drill with specific people or like to mix it up? So normally I drill with 1 or 2 different people. Spencer Smith, he lives close to me, and so when I do drill, it's normally with him. We'll drill for 30 minutes to an hour, and then oftentimes we'll play after that. What is your go-to drill when you have nothing else to do? Jimmy, what's your go-to drill?
Honestly, like the thing that I work on more than anything is I play dink games. I play kitchen games, right? Get to the kitchen. We keep score. We do best of 5. We play to 11. We do speed ups. Any sort of kitchen games, at least at my level. I mean, I'm sure you're drilling obviously different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, kitchen games, and you make them fun, and you create a real, yes,
competition.
Exactly. Competition. I remember, drilling with Austin Gridley, who's a pro, and Austin Gridley essentially just said, if you're just dinking to dink, then it's not real. He's like, I'm going to speed you up. And after I caught one on the chin the very first time, I realized, okay, Austin,
he's not messing around.
He's not messing around. This is a big deal.
Exactly. I would agree with Jimmy. A lot of people want elaborate, crazy, difficult drills, but honestly, the best drills that I have found is just simple drills where you're doing half court, you're going cross court, you're going down the line, you're working on your third shot. But what Jimmy was saying is you're keeping score, because when you keep score, it puts you into a more real life experience, and that gets you into the game set mode. I can't tell you how many people I give lessons to, and they play incredible in practice, and then I go watch them in tournaments, and they go 0-2. They don't play anything like what they do in practice. And the reason being is they don't practice as they should in tournaments. They're not used to that pressure. They're not used to keeping score. And by doing that, you're going to prepare yourself even better. Do you think pickleball, this is from AJ Pickleball, do you think pickleball will ever reach a level of difficulty close to tennis? I think this is fairly subjective. There's a lot of pros right now that have played high level tennis, that play pro pickleball now, that say pickleball is more difficult than tennis. I think there are different strategies to both. Jimmy, thoughts?
Yeah, I think that it's going to, because what's going to happen is people are going to grow up playing pickleball, right? Like we said, it's still, even though the sport was created in the 70s, 60, or 19, whatever it was, 60s, 65. Yeah. The popularity of the sport is just starting to blow up. And so I think as you see people grow up playing pickleball, that's going to be the biggest issue, right? Right now you have kids growing up playing tennis. When they grow up playing pickleball, the level of difficulty is just going to increase, and it's going to just be harder and harder. And honestly, to become a pro is going to be way more difficult. And it's going to be, I think that it's going to eventually become just like tennis. It's going to go international. It's going to go to the Olympics.
It is international.
Yeah. But, it's going to be the same exact thing. Yeah.
The thing with pickleball is it's hard to, in tennis, you can serve 150 mile an hour versus 70. There's a big difference between the two. In pickleball, if you're just spectating and you don't understand the game, you don't understand the level of difficulty these third shot drops are, these angles are, the height over the net, the spin that these players are putting 100%. On. You watch Noah Rubin, who's a top 200 tennis player, who comes in and he can't dink worth the life of him.
He won, what did he win? He won Junior Wimbledon or something like that. Yeah, and
so I think it will, and I think honestly,
in fact, he quit.
It might even be there.
He quit pickleball to go on some humanitarian trip, which I think is a cop out because he was getting smoked in pickleball. But whatever.
For sure. All right, let's see. Next page. There's a couple comments about Donna.
Oh, Donna. Donna, if you want to come on the pod, Donna, and share your story, we'd love to have you.
Share your story.
Only if you're going to use names, Donna.
All right. Somebody said, review local Salt Lake manufacturer pickleball carbon paddle. Regular one versus ergo. I don't know if they're referring to Holbrook or.
I don't know. I would say Holbrook might be one. I mean, Holbrook's local to Salt Lake. We got a lot of local players using Holbrook now. Yeah. Is there a lot of guys on who's the biggest name on the PPA? Is anyone using Holbrook on the PPA right now?
There's a couple lower players that are starting to get into it that use
But
Holbrook.
no,
not yet, no.
I mean, is Alex Lawhan the highest rated Holbrook player?
They just signed a husband-wife duo out in Florida.
Okay.
Martin Emrich and Tammy Emrich, I believe.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They play at the pro level.
Okay.
Yeah, super nice people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Any other questions? That was, I feel like I had more questions, but I can't seem to.
Some of them are rated. You can't. You can't talk about them.
Yes, some are asking. About preferences of pickleball players.
Well, Tyler, do you have one? Are you not answering that? Are you pleading the fifth?
They were asking about a different person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not me.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, today's a beautiful day. Hopefully you can go out there and play some pickleball. I think next week we're going to try to get a special guest on. Who do you think it is?
I don't know.
It's not Queens, even though we should line them up.
Yes, the Queens. We're going to have the Queens on. Is it a pro player?
he thinks he's a pro, but he's by far not even close.
Oh, Sterling?
No.
Okay. Sorry, Sterling.
Austin Reed, no.
Oh, but those two are those are two I was thinking about.
We're going to have probably next week or the week after George Berrigan.
Oh, George from the Pickler.
From the Pickler, who's the founder of the Pickler.
Love George.
They are a franchise pickleball facility. They have a lot going for them. They have 7 open locations, and have announced like 5 to 10 other locations, and they're just expanding. So
pickleball is taking over the world.
Yep.
Like, it's massive. Let me ask you this before we close.
Okay.
Give me your prediction. 2024, it's not going to happen. 2028 Olympics. Will we see pickleball?
I think for sure 2032.
2032, yeah.
I think for sure 2032. I think 28 is up in the air. There's a lot of people who are gung-ho about getting it into the Olympics. I don't understand.
There's a rule, right? It's something about like...
It's about the international...
like 70 countries have to play it. Yeah. There's all sorts of rules. But do you see it? I mean, gosh, they have 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics. They have like some of the most random things. I think that pickleball by then should be large enough. Mm-hmm. What country will Tyler Lung play for?
I could play for 2, I think. Hong Kong, China,
China, yeah,
and then America,
yeah,
and then I feel like I could maybe reach in there somewhere. And
you're gonna be one of those guys that you're like, I'm gonna go get citizenship in Guam just so I can play in the Olympics, like one of those guys.
The funniest story, we got to end this, but the funniest story is this guy. He was doing some work for me, and or I did some work for him, and in turn, instead of paying me, he wanted to offer to get me citizenship to like a country.
Yes.
Like,
see,
what would I do with citizenship in that country?
I mean, you could be a king depending on what country it is. You could be royalty. See, you see that though. You see that all the time. You see these guys that like in the Olympics.
Also, we had somebody write in, and they love the pod, and they said we should put Jimmy's name or his Instagram handle on the video. Do you want that or no?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's watching the pod or listening to the pod. I mean, I'm a little bit nervous. Maybe give me a couple episodes.
A couple more.
A couple more to build up.
Like, I'm happy to put it, but
to build up the nerve. But I think you can find me.
His Instagram, you have what, 250 followers or something?
I have 26 followers, and they're all my family.
Exactly.
But no, I don't know.
If you want it, just let me know, and I'll put
I think
it
that
on.
if I show up to a PPA event, I now have Connor, Lacey, Riley Newman, Pat Smith. I got a lot of people that I'm on their hit list. So maybe I should lay low.
If he wants it, I'll put it. I'm not withholding it from him for...
I feel like he is.
No.
Tyler wants to be the big man on campus. It's his show. I'm just happy. I'm just happy he lets me be a part of it.
All right. Well, once again, thank you again for checking us out. Make sure to check out the Pickler shop. Use our code ambassador to save yourself and get some awesome products. Anything else, Jimmy?
No, I don't think so. Good luck this weekend in Atlanta.
I'm heading out tomorrow.
Go win it. We want to see some podiums. We saw a lot of podiums with you and Callan last year. Let's see some podiums with you and AJ, you and Lacey.
Yep.
Lacey, prove me wrong.
All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.